Today's October 23rd, and I'm down here at the Nye County Courthouse in Pahrump, Nevada. And this is early voting. It's the fourth day of early voting. Over 2,000 people have voted already. So we thought we would come down here and take a look at the crowds and one other issue. The county was closed. The county courthouse was closed the other day, and the men in suits showed up with the previous district attorney. They went into the courtrooms and left with several boxes. So nobody seems to want to talk about what's going on. The courtrooms are still closed today. Now we're here, we're looking at the amount of turnout. We think this is going to be a pretty heavy turnout this year. And part of the voting that's taking place here is a straw poll of people leaving after they voted. The voting will finish on November 6th, which will be the final day, and I think we're going to see maybe 12 to 14,000 people vote in Nye County this year. Now we don't know for sure, but we will see, and if it's a high turnout, who knows? Because there's no way to predict what's going to happen this year. So once again, we're in the front of the Nye County Courthouse in Pahrump, Nevada.
Here for the third day, campaigning to vote yes on county ballot question number 2, which will remove the town board as it is. The reason why I feel like that is I think the town board wastes way too much money. We have a lot of corruption, and I can say corruption because I could prove it with the town manager. The whole town board is not working for the people the way we want it to. They're doing whatever they want. They think it's good for them. But Pahrump is the biggest, smallest government in the United States. And let me explain what I'm talking about. I'm not for big government. Pahrump is very small. But the way the government works just for this little town is too big. And they're getting carried away with the amount of money they want to spend, and people that they're hiring. We got an over-bloated fire department. The town manager is not worth half of what he makes. They're just not doing things the proper way. So the only way we're going to get Pahrump back on track is to remove this town board, make it an advisory board where we'll still have people representing us, but they won't be able to spend any money. And why that's good is there'll be more checks and balances. The people go to the town advisory board, they turn around and tell the town advisory board what we want, and then they decide what's good, what's not, and then they bring it to county commissioners. So you have that checks and balances. The town board just doesn't do what they want. They get the checks and balances by the county commissioners. Now, a lot of people turn around and say, well, I don't really want the county commissioners having that much power. The whole point here is too much government. Why did people move to Pahrump? If they moved to Pahrump with their eyes closed and they say, well, how come we don't have this and how come we don't have that? That's their fault for not having done research on what Pahrump is. Big government is not going to do the trick. We need to clean it up.
Hi, I'm Colleen, and I'm here in front of the Nye County Courthouse, where today is the 4th day of the voting process, early voting, and the turnout here has been terrific. There were lines this morning that were unbelievable, and it's really good to see that there are this many people coming out to vote. We're getting quite a bit of we're getting quite a bit of participation with people taking the exit poll. Our paperwork is sitting over here. It's mostly based on the local people and the questions on the ballot. We have a locked ballot box, which the tape has been sealed around it. At night we tape up the top and we leave it inside locked up. It will be released the night after, the night of November 6th, after we have completed all the elections and closed the polls. we will be tallying up those numbers.
I'm Anthony Greco. I'm standing here in front of Judge Kimberly Wonka's courtroom that's been closed for 2 days. Yesterday we found out her courtroom was closed, and we're asking why. And what we're getting out of the DA's office is that they had to close her court because something about a class that she forgot to take. I was told by other parties that she took that class of October of last year. So there were investigators from Nye County here yesterday all over the place. I seen them taking files out of the building. Now, today, all the courtrooms are closed. I seen lawyers leaving. The only court that was open today was a juvenile court. And nobody is saying anything to anybody. None of the media came down. We called everybody. Nobody wanted to come down to take pictures, ask any questions. But that's what goes on here in Nye County. A lot of the media will not say anything negative about the DA's office or the judges because they're afraid that they'll be locked out of the real news. Okay, but I'm not afraid to tell you what's going on. I don't have all the exact facts, but something smells bad. Okay, we have a lot of problems going on. There is a lawsuit now against all the judges and the DAs. It's I'm part of the lawsuit. There's 17 people on it. We have another 43 people that want to come forward to get involved in this. The public defenders have been throwing citizens under the bus here for years. You hear the same story, that they're told to plead guilty or they're going to rot in jail for a year to 18 months. And it's the same people saying the same thing over and over again. Why is this courtroom closed? Why are the courts closed? There's something going on here. Here we are outside the courthouse again, and you can see the sign behind us, and that's one of the candidates' sign. And are we being ignored, or they're not paying attention to us because of what does go on here? We've got another windy day, and they used to call Chicago the Windy City, and not because of the wind, it was because of the hot air that came out of the politicians, and that's the truth. And that's why we're very windy in here, because all we're getting is hot air out of our politicians. They're really not working for us. What they are doing is fulfilling their needs and their egos to try to get things done. They're trying to turn Pahrump into a city. Why did people move here? That's the whole thing. Why did they move here? Did they move here to say, hey, let's make this a city? They moved here, but what they saw in Pahrump, the beautiful scenery, light on crime, low taxes, not many expenses. We have a lot of retired and disabled veterans here. They came here to this bedroom community, this sleepy little town, to live that way, to enjoy life without the hustle and bustle. But we seem to be getting politicians here who turn around and want to keep turning this into a city. We don't need incorporation. We don't need to be a city. Just leave it the way it was. There's nothing wrong with it. Pahrump is a beautiful place. The problem is the people that are running it are trying to change it to where they came from. If they're trying to change Pahrump into New York and California, why did they leave New York and California? Come to Pahrump, live in Pahrump, in the beautiful community that it was. We need to go back to our rules and regulations of 1994 and below that, so we can live free and peaceful. Pahrump should be the freest town in America. That's why I came here, for its conservative values. I don't know what happened. I'm from New York. I was a conservative there. I was an outcast. Now they're taking good conservative people and trying to change it into New York and California. Please don't let them do this. Vote the town board out. Let this stay a beautiful community that it was for less than 10 years before where we're at now. We need to go back to the rules and regulations of 1994 when it started becoming the fastest growing rural community in the United States, to be the bedroom community that people moved here for. Don't destroy this and make it a city. Do not incorporate. It will do nothing for us but make us pay more taxes.